Hey, everybody, and welcome to another deep dive. We're tackling the 2024 housing market today. You sent in this Forbes Advisor article, and you want to know, should you buy now, wait, or just give up on the dream?
It's a tough market out there.
It really is, and this article has a lot to say, so let's dig in. First up, the Fed cut interest rates and mortgage rates have responded by falling to their lowest point since February. The article even called it a water slide instead of a roller coaster. But then on the other hand, home prices are still sitting at those record highs, even if the increases are slowing down.
Well, yeah, the Fed cutting rates, making it cheaper to borrow money, which should make things a little easier. But, and I think this is important to remember, those cuts come after rates had already been climbing. So it's kind of like we're on this roller coaster that took a sudden dip, but we're still way higher than where we got on.
Okay, so that makes sense. It's kind of like catching that sale at the grocery store after prices have already jumped up. Your final bill might be a bit lower, but you're still paying more than you were a while back. And then on top of that, this low inventory problem we've been talking about hasn't really gone anywhere. The article says it's creeping up, but I don't know.
It's true. There is a little bit more inventory than there was at the peak of things, but not much.
Yeah.
And there's also the lock-in effect. The lock-in effect. Basically, anyone who managed to get those crazy low mortgage rates a year or two ago, they're not moving. Why would you? So that means fewer existing homes are going up for sale. Now, there is new construction happening, but it's just not enough to really get things moving.
Okay, so cheaper borrowing costs should make things a little easier. But low inventory is keeping competition and prices high. Got it. And if that wasn't enough, this article talks about new rules for realtor fees. Honestly, I kind of skimmed that part.
Yeah, that's some pretty dense legal stuff.
It really is. But what's the main takeaway there for buyers and sellers?
Transparency. It used to be totally normal for the seller to cover the buyer's agent's commission, but then there were some lawsuits saying that this was unfair and kept buyers in the dark about how much houses really cost.
Interesting. So how have things actually changed now?
Well, now those commission offers, they can't be part of the official MLS listings. Instead, buyers are probably going to have to talk about fees directly with their agents.
So it can be good or bad depending on your situation?
Exactly, but just remember that clear communication with your realtor is key.
Transparency and communication, got it. All right, last but definitely not least, we've got to talk about the C word.
Oh, you're going there.
We have to. The crash. I mean, is 2008 about to happen all over again?
Well, nobody can say for sure. But the good news is this market is not the same as it was back then. Back then, a lot of people owed more on their mortgage than their house was even worth. Today, homeowner equity is a lot higher, so most people have a little bit of breathing room. Plus, lending standards are just stricter now, so you're not seeing those same risky loans that added fuel to the fire last time. A full-on crash is unlikely.
So you're saying not a nosedive, but maybe a gentle return to earth.
Maybe. And even then, real estate is local, right? What's happening in your neighborhood might be totally different than what you're seeing on the national level.
That's a really good point.
So yeah, we just talked about rates going down, but they're still high. Inventory is getting better, but it's still tight. We talked about these new rules for realtor fees that could be good or bad depending on you and this whole what if of a crash. But like we said, there's a lot we can learn from all of this data. So let's unpack what all of this means for you as our listener.
So, wow, there's a lot to unpack there. Falling rates, but are they falling enough? Low inventory, confusing new rules. It's a lot. But let's put the numbers aside for a second.
Yeah.
What's your gut reaction to all of this? Are you feeling totally overwhelmed? Maybe a little bit optimistic?
It's a lot to process, that's for sure. And I think the thing to remember is there's really no right answer for everyone. It's all about what makes sense for you, your circumstances, your goals, even your comfort level with a risk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So no magic answers here, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean you have to go into this whole home buying thing totally blind.
Definitely not. And a good first step is to just take a minute and think about your why. Why do you want to buy a house in the first place?
That's a good point. It's easy to skip that step.
Right. Are you looking for that forever home, even if that means playing the long game and waiting for the right place? Are you mostly looking for a deal, ready to jump when the time is right? Or are you just kind of over where you're living now?
Oh, tell me about it. One time, I almost moved into this studio apartment that was advertised as having a city view. Turns out city view meant a brick wall and a fire escape.
Yeah, we've all been there. But seriously, once you know your why, you can actually start making a plan to get there.
So for those of you who are thinking, all right, I'm ready to buy, let's do this thing, what should we be doing?
I'd say the most important thing is to be prepared. Getting pre-approved for a mortgage, that's huge. But don't just stop at how much you can borrow. Really think about what that monthly payment would actually look like for you, you know? Factor in everything. Property taxes, insurance, even put some money aside for those unexpected repairs that always seem to pop up.
Ugh, those unexpected repairs.
Yeah.
Like that time my water heater decided to pick the worst possible moment to break. It was not pretty.
It's never a good time. And then while you're getting your finances in order, think about those must-haves versus nice-to-haves. What can you be flexible on? Are you okay with a smaller kitchen if it means you get that big backyard?
This is where a good realtor can be worth their weight in gold, right?
100%. Having someone who will actually listen to what you need, that makes a world of difference. Now, on the other hand, for those of you who are thinking, you know what, this all just feels a little too risky right now, I think I'm going to wait it out, that is totally valid. But if you're going to wait, at least be strategic about it.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, really define what a better market looks like for you.
Because better is different for everyone.
For sure. So are you waiting for prices to drop by a certain percentage? Is there some magic interest rate number you have in mind? Or are you holding out for that unicorn property that almost never comes on the market? Really be honest about what you're waiting for and how you'll know when it's here. Because waiting for the absolute perfect moment, well, that could mean waiting forever.
Yeah, this isn't about trying to outsmart the market. It's about figuring out what makes sense for you.
100%. And here's one more thing to think about. And this goes for both the folks who are ready to buy now and the folks who are planning to wait. Stress test your assumptions.
Ooh, I like that. It's like a little financial fire drill.
It kind of is. Basically, think about those what-if scenarios. What if rates don't actually drop as much as you're hoping they will? What if that dream home pops up tomorrow, but it's at the very top of your budget, plus you need a new water heater? Or what if you decide to wait and then prices somehow go up even more?
Okay, that last one is terrifying, but I get your point.
It's all about being prepared. Right.
Exactly. So much of this is about thinking through those worst-case scenarios so that you can make decisions from a place of clarity, not from a place of, oh my God, everyone else is buying a house, I need to buy one too.
Oh, that and it's an emotional decision.
Buying a house, 100%. Remember that cute little bungalow that I was totally in love with a few years ago?
Oh no, what happened?
Someone came in at the last minute and outbid me. I think I actually cried a little bit.
Oh, I feel that. And I think that just proves that this isn't just about buying some asset, you know? You're buying a home. It's a place where you see yourself building a life, and that's a really big deal.
I think that's such a good point. We can talk about interest rates and property values and all of that until the cows come home, but you're right. It's more than that. You're not just buying a house, you're buying a home.
Right. It's emotional. You're picturing your life there.
Totally. Remember that time I almost put an offer on that fixer-upper?
Oh, yeah. What was that one?
It was this really cute little place. Well, in the photos it looked cute, but it had all this, like, character, according to the listing.
Character.
Yeah. Well, when I went to actually see it, character basically translated to tons of problems.
I've been to a lot of those open houses. You can just feel the money flying out the window.
Exactly. And it's funny because you can do your research, you can look at all the numbers, but sometimes it really does just come down to that feeling you get when you walk in. It either feels right or it doesn't.
It's a gut feeling.
Exactly. And I think that's a good reminder that as much as we try to break it down and make sense of it all, there's still that element of, I don't know, it just feels right.
And honestly, I think it's good to listen to that feeling.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. Falling rates, low inventory, new rules, the possibility of a crash. There's a lot to consider.
For sure.
But hopefully, listener, you're walking away from this feeling a little more confident, a little more informed, like you've got the information you need to actually make the decision that's right for you.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly. Whether you decide to buy right now or wait it out a little longer or say, you know what, forget this, I'm moving into a van and traveling the country.
Hey, there's always that option too.
Right. Whatever your next chapter looks like, we hope this is giving you a little bit of clarity, a little bit of confidence, and maybe even a little bit of excitement about navigating this crazy housing market. Until next time, deep divers.